the intermediate state of Dharmata or the clear-light nature of mind begins when the consciousness dissolves into the space and this space dissolves into the luminosity or the clear-light nature of our mind. So here the intermediate state of Dharmata or clear light begins. So now under the intermediate state of Dharmata, there is two subsections. One is attainment of Buddhahood in Dharmakaya through the recognition of clear light nature of mind, or uniting the child clear light and the mother clear light. Through this unification, one will achieve the Buddhahood in Dharmakaya. And the second subsection is, if one cannot get enlightenment in the Dharmakaya Buddhahood, then one can achieve the Sambhogakaya Buddhahood through the recognition of the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities as our own appearances or our own mind. So during the appearances of 100 peaceful and wrathful deities, if one have an introduction of the visualization practice in Tantra, there are outer and inner Tantra. Outer Tantra are Kriya, Upa and Yoga, and inner Tantra are Maha, Anu and Ati. If someone has some kind of the practices based on Maha Tantra or Maha Yoga, this is exactly where the visualization practices are done, and through this realization one can understand or experience or realize those 100 peaceful and wrathful deities as our own nature of mind or our own appearances. So once we know this, now we are liberated in the Sambhogakaya Buddhahood. Is it possible for every one of us to recognize the Sambhogakaya Buddhahood through recognizing the appearances of those 100 peaceful and wrathful deities? Now, the point is to recognize those appearances of deities as our own mind or as our own appearances, self-arising appearances. One has to go through the practice of visualization, or one should have instruction. Without these, ordinary beings, when they have such vision of peaceful and the wrathful deities filled the space and the sky, one will be developing or having or experiencing some kind of a fear. So because of those fears, we will never recognize those appearances as either our mind or self-arisen appearances of our own mind. So when we are not able to realize this, then one will either faint or one will be so fearful, one will fall into unconscious state of mind. Then will that being or person remain forever in this unconscious state? No. Through his karmic disposition, that being will be awake. And when that being gets awake, then he or she will be already experiencing the another level of Bardo, the another intermediate state. This is called Sidpa Bardo, the intermediate state of becoming. Now, if we cannot get enlightenment either in the Dharmakaya Buddhahood or in the Sambhogakaya Buddhahood, then we will go through the intermediate state of becoming. In Tibetan, Sidpa Bardo. So this is the last Bardo among the 6 Bardos. Now what is going to happen or experience in this Bardo of becoming? Sidpa Bardo. Here, if one is a practitioner, if one had practiced, although haven't achieved a deep samadhi or realized the vipassana while he or she was alive, but still, if he or she had practiced kindness, compassion, or especially like transference practices, phowa, then there is a very big opportunity to realize the Buddhahood in Nirmanakaya. When someone goes through the intermediate state of becoming, Sidpa Bardo, one will be having the mental body. He or she will not experience the gross level of body that is made by flesh and bone. So it is similar like a dream body. Now when someone is in the intermediate state of becoming, Sidpa Bardo, then one will have these 4 experiences based on 4 elements. Now first will be, the person will be going through the experiences of like the mountain getting crushed down, everywhere earthquake. So that mean those experiences of fearful comes from the prana, the wind energy from the earth elements. Now second experience will be from the water elements, the energy from the water elements. So these are like waves crushing towards the ocean, as if like wave is going to wash you away like a tsunami. Now the third experience is, one will be experiencing the whole world is burned by the fire, the sound of a fire, the vision of a fire. So that means those fearful experiences are coming from the prana, the wind energy of the fire elements. Then the fourth experience will be like thundering, windstorm, because that moment you will be having a mental body. So you are carried out from the one place to another like a feather. You are not kept in one place. Your mind will be filled with anguish. Your mind will be filled with fear. You are carried out by those winds and windstorm thundering. So these experiences will be coming from the wind energy. Now in the Bardo of Becoming, generally one will go through the span of 49 days experiences. So now first 21 days, the person who is in the intermediate state of becoming, Sidpa Bardo, one will be remembering of his past life. So he will be visiting his relative, he will be visiting his friends, but as you possess the mental body, they will not see you. So when they do not see you, you will be experiences of those three afflictive emotions like attachment, anger, and ignorance. Like attachment towards their family, feeling sad, you will be feeling fearful, and you will be feeling rejected. So when you feel that, then suddenly you understand that you are already dead. So when you recognize that, then you will fall into the deep sadness. And again, the another kind of experience will be, as your mental body moves, there will be no shadow casted, and when you walk, you will not have footprints. And again, in the Bardo of Becoming, the intermediate state of becoming, the space will be without sun and the moon. So within these 49 days of the Bardo of Becoming, every 7 days the being will be experiencing the feelings of death. So during those periods, it is said that like families and friends, if they can perform the rituals or prayers or like making an offering towards the triple gem, they can really help the deceased, the dead persons being reborn in a better place, or the purifying the consciousness and achieving the enlightenment. Experiences will continue, and when it reaches the 21st day, when it reaches the 21st day, after that until the 49 days, this phase of the periods, they will be experiencing what they are going to be reborn. Suppose if one has spent his life in sinful acts like killing animals, suppose like pigs, now he or she from the 21 day, gradually he or she will be experiencing like his left hand will be transformed into a leg of a pig, and then gradually he will see another right hand, then he will be seeing his body transforming, getting transformed into a pig's physique or body. Then as time passes, suddenly that person will be seeing his own head transformed into a pig's head, then that moment, because of the deep fear, he or she will fall into unconscious state. So that is the end of the Bardo of Becoming. Once that person awakes from that unconsciousness, the consciousness of that person will be already entered into the womb of pig's mother. So from there again the cycle begins, the cycle of the first Bardo. Then gradually again it will come to the Bardo of death. Then again we will experience the Bardo of the clear light. Then again will come to the Bardo of Becoming. So likewise the circle will continue. So this is called the samsara. Now, as we are born in samsara, the samsara is actually the place of suffering. Now, what is suffering? Although suffering can be understood from the different perspective and angle, but when we put those into one point, so that is nothing other than birth and death. As long as we are born in samsara, we will be going through the experience of birth and the death. Now, to get away from samsara mean getting away from the experiences of birth and death. Now, how we can get away from these experiences of being born and being, death? Only possible is to realize the true nature of mind. How exactly we realize? This realization happens only when we realize the first thing is to realization of selflessness of I. When we realize there is no self, then the grasping towards the self dissolves. When the grasping towards the self dissolves, the self itself dissolves. When this self dissolves, then who is born? Then who is going to die? The concept of being born or the concept of death is because of the concept of I. Once this dissolves, nobody is born, nobody is dying. So through this, one can get away from the samsaric experience of birth and death. Unless and until we realize that there is no self or grasping towards the self, we will be experiencing the suffering of samsara, that is birth and death. So, through knowing this, we should practice and try to achieve the state beyond samsara. As long as we do not achieve this state, we should understand that we cannot avoid birth and death. Preparation for death, it depends on the different caliber and the capacities and the interest, also the merits of that person. When person is on the process of dying, there are different methods to deal with that person.